Hi guys, I'm Exact Chaos and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We are looking in the, we're here in the lovely new city of Ultimograd, and we're looking to continue to expand it. And there's a fair bit going on. I've added a few things. I've added some additional kind of gas stations over here. I think I've finished off all of this. I, in the end, did decide to go and add additional asphalt and concrete facilities, and they squeezed in here pretty nicely. I added a little fire station in here, plus a bus station, and hopefully this bus station will be dropping off some people. Not quite. What I would like to do is just make sure that these guys are line spaced, because I don't think they are. Ultima Concrete Asphalt. Let's quickly go and have a look at that. Or passengers, and I think that's the last one here, Ultima. Please space. Yeah, that's the plan. So let's space them out so that we can get workers here in a reasonable amount of time. So clearly we don't have any workers out over here. Yeah, suddenly we do not have any workers, it seems. Lots of passengers waiting to be moving around, but no workers for some reason. And I do wonder why that is. Do we not have workers? What is the situation? Our guys are heavily educated, highly educated. And I do wonder whether we might be too highly educated. Is that a thing? I'm not sure if that's a thing. Anyway, one of the things that I've seen in the comments, we will continue to have a bit of a look at this. But one of the things I continue to see in the comments was that we can actually go underground and do and raise and lower our underground cabling. So let's quickly go underground. I just want to have a look at that. So what we had a problem with is getting these guys to cross other things. So that kind of worked, but this one didn't want to work. But now apparently if I go use the E and Q buttons, we can make it work. So Q, there we go. Q is dropping it down. E doesn't allow, but Q in fact does drop it down. So there we go. So that's dropping it down. So we could in fact put it, some reason. Maybe I was just because I'm on the pathway over there, but otherwise that seems to be working. So we don't have to worry about that too much anymore. So yes, that's a thing. I didn't even realize that's a thing, but thank you so much for the commenters that keep me honest. Excellent. Still only passengers over here, which makes me wonder, there's no one, I'm assuming that means no one is unemployed. That is what I'm assuming. So what I'm going to do, first things first in this episode, everything is being distributed. We are running low on electronics, and we're also struggling to get meat out over here. So we'll have a look at those too. But I think one of the big things I want to do is continue our expansion, potentially in this very area over here. I don't think there's a lot of problematic issues coming in from that side, but what I wouldn't mind doing is getting another range of residential pieces up to work over here. There's a lot of construction underway. I'm not sure all of it is in fact underway, and especially if we can't get any workers, it's probably a bit of a challenge for us. What I'm interested in is, let's quickly see if we can assign a few of the helicopter construction officers. So if I assign this guy, so how does this thing actually work? Quick selection. Let's select number 1, assign construction office mode. So for some reason, assign construction mode. Oh, hang on. So assign there we go. Let's assign a few of these things. Okay, now let's go number 2. We'll get number 2 to be assigned over there. So we'll see about getting these things built. Number 3. Let's assign some stuff over here. We'll start working on the bridges, I think. That's kind of the intent. So if we can start working on all of these little things, that should help us out a little bit. So now construction should be underway over there. There's a fair bit going on over here. Let's see about getting ready for another expansion so we can get more people over here. What is our population looking like at the moment? Ooh, we've had a drop. And what worries me is we're heading into winter right about now. So having a drop now is really problematic. Or having had a drop. Let's have a quick look at that population. So if we go over this year, yeah, we had a bit of a substantial drop when February, March. We must have run out of food. It's the only thing I can think of. Anyway, we will continue to keep an eye on it. We're at that 100,000 mark, and that's pretty cool. Now, what I was wondering is, do we go and do some big stuff? Actually, let's start it off with a shop and a few things. A shop and a few facilities. Very big grocery. Got some of these guys. That one, I've always liked this one. So let's see about squeezing in this one over here. Nothing here will be powered, it seems. Now, the question is, do we do that or do we squeeze it in? If we squeeze it in on this side, it's going to be more effective, I think. But the problem is we need to bear in mind that we're probably going to need multiple ones. So let's start it off like this guy over here. Yeah, I like that. Obviously, we're going to need a few storage facilities. In that case, we probably need this small storage over here, this side. Yeah, so that's going to be the cold storage right over there. I don't mind it. Cold storage over there. And we'll just do the standard, this small storage here. And I'm assuming, oh, I'm going to have to do something like this. I think that'll be reasonable. Actually, we can do this. This will work. This might be a little tighter if we do that. And then I would like a road cargo station to finish the matters off over here. Something like this. I think that is a nice little square right over there. Exactly the kind of thing that I have in mind here. There we go. So something like that. Now let's quickly tie in all of these connections. We'll get you a connection up there. We'll get that connection over there. We'll tie you in here, and I'm assuming what we'll do is we'll run a bit of a connection up here. Probably worthwhile tying that up there. That's okay. And then what we'll do is we'll tie this one in here, and there'll be a little spot for something else over there. I'll go ahead and pay for those so that the construction crews can get to this and start working on that straight away. Now, we would like a few other facilities over here, so let's quickly have a look and see what those other facilities are. So we would most certainly like some sports playgrounds. Maybe it's like the bowling alley. Oh, the bowling alley squeezes in here pretty nicely. So I'll see about getting it as close to as possible over there. So let's do that so that we can actually, I'm not sure we'll be able to squeeze the little pathways in here. No, we should be able to get a pathway. Ooh, that was a little weird. Anyway, we should get a pathway. So the pathway will just have to end up doing this. So if we do, let's start it off on this side. We'll do a little pathway over here. And the intent would be that from here we turn it through. And yeah, something like that. Yes. Now we can tie that in. We can tie this one back in over there. And so I'll go ahead and get those paid so this can get constructed over here. Also, now, with that in mind, we probably need a hospital before we start running into the same problems that we did last time around. So what am I looking for in terms of a hospital? Max number of patients. I probably need a fair number of patients over here. That's about 150. A pretty large hospital in this location over here, I think is good, because then we can kind of act this centerpiece as a bit of a park again. So I think something like the large hospital right over there is probably a good idea. Go ahead, tie that one in and pay for that so construction can commence. Now we've got this one going on. We've got a fire station over here. We probably need another fire station, but let's get some of the other facilities. Schools, I think, is more important right now. We'll get to fire stations and things. So kindergartens, absolutely. We need medium, small, medium. These are about the same. Let's get one up close to the rail over here. I think that's going to be pretty good. We'll get another kindergarten. Maybe somewhere in here. Like that. And we'll be able to get a path by it there. Then let's go for the other medium. And maybe slot it in on this corner. Right over here. Making room for a bit of a path there as well. So there's a few kindergartens. Let's get a couple of schools in here. Schools. We've got heating. We don't have power over here. So let's get schools. Okay, so what are my school options? We've got a big school option. I don't think that's the way to go. 540. 240 is probably a more appropriate number. So let's see about maybe squeezing in a school somewhere over here. Quite comfortable with that. We'll have one school on this side, and then maybe we'll do another kind of right over here. I think maybe that's okay. That's appropriate. Let's quickly finish off these road sections so that we can get construction underway. The one thing that we probably don't have in this area either is a good snow plowing technical services hub. Because I think this side is doing pretty well. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty decent. But we need a little bit of technical services on this side. I can maybe squeeze in some technical services over here. I think that's actually not a bad idea. Let's quickly get technical services up and running in this location. Oh man, that's really awesome. Like it's made to go in here. Get that technical services in. Pay for that. Let's build it and get the guys in here. What we don't have on this side yet is anything with anything like a fuel station or something. So we'll get the technical services up and running. I'll go over here, grab a few of the snow plows that we've got sitting ready to go. What are we building over here at the moment? The last few dumpers. What we'll do is we'll switch that over to a few more snow plows. Gonna move like 8 snow plows over there, so we may as well start building new ones. Do we have snow plows set over here? We've got all the one. And then we'll grab, don't quite know how many we can take, but I think it should be able to take at least like 8 of them. So let's go back on over here, and then we'll need to start looking at getting things like meat and so on ready to go. So let's move a few of these guys over here. And there we go. Now that's everything. So it does take 8. They should be able to get here fairly quickly with the new bridge. Okay, that's all underway, doing their things over here. Now we just need a few residential components. Oh, and we also need a few more facilities in the order of, I don't think we need a university over here. We've got a pretty big one over there, but I don't think we have connectivity. But we could have connectivity. I'll have a look at that now. We could certainly have connectivity. I'll come back to that. So, sports playgrounds. I'm after a cinema style development. I'm not going to do a very big one. Maybe the greenhouse, maybe the main library. The main library, if we do the main library up on this side, I'm pretty comfortable with the main library right over here. Again, on a pretty main road. Okay, main library over there. Anything else? A bit of a theater, maybe something in this spot right over here. I think is decent. Let's get it as close to the rail as possible. Something like that. There we go. We'll grab that one. Anything else we want to squeeze in here? That's a big one. Cinema Sojus. Are we gonna see about squeezing in something over here? Yeah, I am not opposed to that. Okay, now let's pay for these little sections that end up costing us a lot of time and effort. We'll pay for that, we'll pay for that, we'll pay for that. Hopefully we get all of that going. These guys should have almost arrived. Should be coming over here. Yeah, here they come. Excellent. Okay, now we need a little bit of residential components. What I wanted to do before we get onto that, I just wanted to have a look at our tunnel connections. If I go F3, they're only tunnels. They're not. They are not those dropped ones. If we had the dropped ones, we'd be able to go straight through. So these guys won't actually be able to connect from the one side to the other side. And the question in my mind is, do we do a little something like this, where we actually allocate an underpass in this area right here, so that these guys can actually have that direct connection from the one side to the other side? I think so. I think that's an appropriate way of dealing with it. So let's do that there. We'll get ourselves a bit of a tunnel constructed from the one side to the other side, so guys can clear the area here. Now, what we'll need to do is, come on, we need to tie this one in, which is not going to be a problem here, and we'll need to tie that in. I'm going to go ahead and pay for that. That's okay. What I was interested in having a look at is if we can actually tie this one in here. No, we cannot. If there's no connection, we can't tie it in. So that's as simple as that. Okay, that's good. Oh, lots of people coming to the train station. Okay, let's have a look at what is in fact happening with the train station. As long as it's not, actually for the time being, I would just like to close this one off completely. So this one shouldn't be asking for any people to come over here. So what we have over here is the little fountains, and I'm happy to see that they're not working in the winter. Apparently that was not the case when it just came out, so happy to see that that has been fixed and that they are in fact not working in the winter. We should have these guys ready to go. What we do need over here probably is a bit of a gas station in this location, so let's grab ourselves a modded gas station, place that in here. There's so much happening all the time here, so if I just go with like a medium-sized gas station right in this location. Do we do a pass-through maybe instead, like the medium pass-through like this, so the guys can run through from the one side to the other side? Something like this. Maybe that's not really required. Do we go with the XL one? The XL one seems to look a little bit better here. I'm not opposed to it, and that'll be out of the way just a tad as well. So let's grab that one in there. It's going to be powered over here, so that's awesome. We'll get that one built. All of these vehicles that's making use of this area. We're obviously going to start to look at maybe some more fuel stations on this area, but what I haven't done yet is I haven't actually started working on residential components. So let's get a few residential components up and running over here. Now the question is, over here close to the rail station, I'm tempted to do some super large ones. So some of these guys, we can only really squeeze in maybe 2 of them in this specific location. So if I do that, no, that's not going to work. So let's cancel that one. I want to try and redo that for the time being. So this is, we have the super big ones. We've got these guys as well, the 505s, and I think we should be able to squeeze some of them in here, right? Especially if we turn it out this way. Interesting that one doesn't want to work over there. No, maybe these guys aren't going to look as good over here. This is 368. We should be able to squeeze some of these guys. Yeah, these guys are looking a little bit more appropriate for this spot right over here. So I could maybe do like 3 of them over here. So we'll have about 1,000 people in this little corner of the world. So if I do something like this, and then I'll do something like that. Yes, so that's pretty cool. And what I'm tempted to do is actually run a little, yeah, what we'll do, we'll tie it in. Do we run it straight through, or do we just do that? I think we just do that, so we can maybe even make use of that area a little bit better. We turn that, oh yeah, if we turn that out a little bit, we'll try and get it a little bit more straight and center. Tie this one in, we'll tie that one in. I'm going to pay for that section of road. That's awesome. And now we've got these guys up and running, so we can get our first residential components popping in over here. I'll be overlooking this area. That'll be pretty good. They'll have a school, a kindergarten. Might not be enough. They'll be very close to the shopping center over here. So that's all well and good. What we are missing in terms of facilities is maybe something like a pub. Let's see if we can grab ourselves a pub over here. Actually, this is not a bad spot for the pub, especially if we can manage to, yes, we can in fact manage to squeeze it in over there. So let's get the pub in there. We should be able to provide it with appropriate connectivity on other sides as well. We need some sporting facilities over here. So let's see about our modded sports playgrounds. We've got a school gym, I think, a gymnasium sports hall. That takes a max of 50 visitors. So maybe that's the one we would be after over here next to the school. Something like that maybe. I'm trying to squeeze it in a little bit, and it's not always the greatest of ideas to do that. How much is this one? This one takes 50 as well. Let's go with the gym instead. Can we squeeze the gym in this location? No, I think our stuff is changing out over there a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll try and squeeze it in right over here. And then what we'll do is we'll see about actually we'll do a little bit of this, and that should help us out a little bit. Then we can get some other bits and pieces in here also. Now, going back over here, having a look, do we have workers? Yes, there are a few workers hanging out over there. Do we have heating going on? We have heating going on. In fact, what we don't have in this very location here is we don't have any power. So what we need to do is we need to run some power into this direction as also. So some of the appropriate ways we can do that is by starting off with our little substations, power substations. We'll grab them. I think a spot right over here is actually quite appropriate. So let's start off with one right over there. And then we could probably squeeze in another, maybe up close and personal to the building right over here. So at least we have double connections in this area. We might need more, but I think as a starting point that'll work. We should be able to draw some power from right over here, and this high voltage line, we'll have to see how we run with the high voltage line as we go. Now, if we go underground with these mediums, yeah, I'm pretty keen to run it out into this general direction. So if I go in there and we then run it up here, and we'll probably need to drop it down a little to cross underneath there, and we'll go ahead and tie it in there. That's pretty good. Doesn't look to be too painful. Now the next one, we'll have to run down here, go down, clear it. Can we go back up again? Yes, we should be able to go back up again. And now I just want to run it underneath all of this stuff. Well, we'll just do this. Run it through there. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and pay for those. That's fine. So we'll get that up and running. We'll get out of here and we'll pay for a few of these things. Wouldn't mind. Switch that off, please. That's done. Let's just get our little walkways done. So what I'm keen on at this location specifically is to get a pretty nice stretch of walkway across the frontage there. Again over here, and we'll see about how we tie all of those together. Make sure we tie these guys in as best we can. Do a little bit of this, see about how that all works. We're going to go ahead and pay for that. So at least all of these things are now sorted out. We'll see about getting power as soon as we can. Obviously all of this is under construction. What's going on with these guys? Yeah, the helicopters are doing their thing, building away over here, getting all of this done. That's been done a while ago. Actually, this is struggling for some time. No workers or mechanisms. Is something going on over here? Yeah, this is working pretty nicely. Are we in fact getting workers out here? We are, so the asphalt is moving. Train collision cannot pass. Let's just see where that is at. This is the kind of thing where I'm a little perplexed by it. Where are we? Wow, where exactly is this? Oh, okay. So why? That's awkward. That was working. Not too much of a train collision over there. Lviška Republic Theatre is doing its thing over here. Doesn't seem to be a big problem over there. Let's quickly have a look at our population. Yeah, population is holding pretty steady. So we'll try and keep that going. Okay, one of the things that I want us to have a look at straight away is about another source of meat. Currently, our meat is a little bit of a tedious problem. I'm going to do just a few more buildings in here. Let's get a few more modern residential buildings. Yeah, I'm pretty keen to do the super large ones up against this, right? So I wouldn't mind doing one or two super large buildings that kind of looks into this area. This is super large, right? 552. That's massive. So the population of this area alone is going to be spectacularly massive. And maybe it's too much. Maybe it is too much. Maybe what we do is we drop that down to these P4 flats, which are, that's 90. This is 91%. What is their? How high are they? They are pretty tall. I just want to make sure that in terms of tall, we're kind of starting to step down a little bit. What's going on with tall over here? That's about the same height. If we then have a look at these guys, they are a little less tall. And to be honest, in a spot like this, it might be a good little roadside construction piece. But then if we have a look at these guys, they are about 11 stories, and that's about half the size of what we've got going on over here. The 21 stories over here are pretty big as well. I don't mind a few tall buildings around here, so this area could be useful to get a few tall buildings in place. So actually maybe, but the problem with too many tall buildings is that we can't support their populations appropriately. So let's do one more tall building right over there, and then we'll do slightly smaller ones. So these guys are about 11 stories. Yeah, so something like that, I think, is quite good. Now, how many do they put? 220. So that's about another 1,000 odd workers in here. So 2 blocks, 2,000 people. Hopefully, our facilities here can hold onto what is required there. Now, what I'm keen on, am I going to run this straight through here, or am I just going to try and tie this in? If we do another building in here, maybe we can do that. So what other buildings do we need? Do we need a fire station? I don't know if we really need another fire station in here. We don't need that many. Maybe another fire station wouldn't be too problematic. Maybe another school, actually. Maybe another kindergarten. Certainly another kindergarten. Let's get another kindergarten. Maybe the stock standard kindergarten over here would actually be a good addition right over here. So we'll see about just squeezing it in. Can we? I think we may be able to squeeze a little bit of a pathway past that side still. Now the intent is that we'll get this guy to exit through there, and we'll see about tying that in, and then this guy can tie in over there. Go ahead and pay for that. There we go. This is also a kindergarten, so multiple kindergartens. We've got a school out over there. We've got a school out over here. Hopefully that will do the trick. Extra clinics and things, I don't quite know about that. We should be able to squeeze in an extra sports playground over here as well. One of these things. I know people are mentioning that it's probably a better idea not to do the open pieces, but I think that's okay. It's going to look good in terms of character. We might have a bit of a spot for a bit of a smaller Lenin statue over here, or maybe one of these. Yeah, that's not quite right. It seems to be a little bit huge. What we'll do is we'll get a bit of a linen going on. Where? Actually, if we do it right over there, that's going to be pretty cool in that location. So what we'll do is we'll grab ourselves a little pathway that will run straight in there, and then we'll strengthen it down to come down here. There we go. That's the plan. Get this guy tied in. We'll get linen tied in. These tied in. That's awesome. We may go ahead and run one by this direction right over here. Yeah, that's awesome. We're going to do that. And we get, yes, we can do this. Yeah, there we go. Here's our little paths. Am I going to go and run you by that way, or what are we going to do? For the time being, let's just run it into here. We'll do a little bit of this. We'll tie these guys in here. Do some of that, do some of this. Awesome. All of that's now tied together. Tie these ones in so the walking distance is a little bit reduced. That should all be good. I'm going to go ahead and pay for these little pathways just because they're very tedious to build. Now all of this should work. People should be able to get to where they want to go. Excellent. Okay, now let's have a look at citizens' health are too low. Let's quickly go and have a look at what are they talking about way out over here. What is your problem? I've paused the game. So workers without jobs. No church or spirituality, no sports, 3 citizens without electronics, 18 without food, 4 without meat, and 1 without culture. So 18 without food is a bit of a problem. The rest I'm not too worried about. In terms of heating, this specific area of Durbansk, interesting that you're having such an issue here. So interior, you've got good heating. It's not a heating problem. It must be a food problem then. So if we then pop on over and see where food is in fact available, we find that our stores here do not have any food. So food here is a bit of a challenge. There we've got some meat available, but no food, unfortunately. So any food available anywhere? There is some food available over there. Some food available over here. So food over here. This is also a shop, I think. Yeah, another shop without food. So this area without food is a bit of a challenge. So what I think I should do, I think food is available over here, right? Yeah, there's tons of food available. So I think what's happening is our distribution facilities might not be up to the task anymore. So what I might do is build another distribution facility right over here. So modded distribution. And we'll see about getting that done. Maybe not the super big one, maybe a slightly smaller one. Yeah, 4 is too little, but that might be a little bit better. So if I do a distribution facility right in here, that's fine. I do like the whole warehousing distribution area. We wouldn't necessarily want to run any extra stuff in here. What I want to do is do that, and I'll go ahead and build this. It's, actually, over here, we could have probably built it ourselves. Pop in over here and see what we have. Okay, these guys are building more than what we need. So let's just cancel the current production. And now there's no blueprint selected, so that's okay. No blueprint in production, that's okay. What I'll do is I'll move a few of these guys over. We've got a few of these guys too. Don't do that. Let's just get a few of these trucks out over that way. So I'll want a couple of these guys. I'll want a couple of those guys. don't think we need any open holes or anything. I'll do 2 more of them. I think 4 of them should be fine for the first stab at it. Where's the Bunsk? It's over here. Okay, so this new facility should be ready to go. It is ready to go. So let's ooh, that's not the button. This is the button. Let's move these guys in. Get the first vehicles out there. Try and sort that out, and then I want to see about another meat production facility of some sorts for Ultima Grad. It's not going to be the similar thing to what we've done thus far, so don't have to worry about that. So what I want these guys to be thinking about is that we want to definitely go and unload over there and over there, and I want you to go and unload over here, and I want you to go and unload to this facility, and where else? And over there. So hopefully this side of the spectrum will get a few more facilities. Yeah, there's very few over here. I think I've built this one later in the thing. But anyway, that's okay. You can make your way on over here to come and pick up anything that you would need. So that's still all unload. And then that's where we're going to do. So that's good. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense. Let's make sure to get all of this all sorted out. So hopefully those vehicles will sort it out. Now, in terms of meat, yeah, I don't think our meat is up to scratch over here. This whole thing is a really inefficient way of doing the meat, I've figured out. This could be our coal train. Let's quickly see. Yes, it is in fact our coal train, so I'm not too fussed by that guy having a bit of a snooze over there. We're not using as much coal. All of these roads are in fact, what I would probably do is just up this a little bit so we get a few more roads sorted out in that fashion. A fair bit of work going on over here, but hopefully once this is up and running, things will work quite nicely. We've got no... these aren't powered. These aren't powered. What I may do is I might just pay for these to make sure that we have power, especially in the heating facilities from the start. But other than that, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. All of this is nice and filled up, so we should be in a good spot over here. Why don't we have any workers? Yeah, see, workers is a big challenge for us. We just don't have any workers. Are we losing citizens? No, we're actually pretty good. We've got just about 880, or about just over 1,000 people that live here thus far. So this area will more than double that. Probably in talking about that, we probably need a bit of a bus station over here if we wanted to do similar of moving people around a little bit. That is all built, so it means that people can now in fact walk under here to that side, but it will be still a little bit of a challenge, I think, to that's a long distance to be traveling. As long as we can get people to get over here, that would be fine, I think. Okay, now let's have a look. I'm pretty keen on getting the meat thing done. What's in my construction? Let's get the helicopters to come in over here and sort this one out. If you get the helicopters to come on in, they do it fairly quickly. I mean, look at what's going on over here. We do get these helicopters to make their moves pretty quickly. Have we finished the rail bridge, or the rail bridge is still underway? Rail bridge is still underway. These little sections are done. These are both under construction. So we're probably just waiting on some of these trains to come, construction trains to come down here and sort that out. Okay, now, what are we going to do with regards to our meat production? So for meat, let's go back into the food related stuff here and have a quick look. So for meat, we would like not a distillery, we would like a livestock farm, and a livestock farm uses 10 tons of crops to generate 5 tons of livestock. And then of course the slaughterhouse uses 250 tons of livestock to get us to it. So what we really need to do is create a farming site where we have livestock being created. Now, I'm not opposed to doing the livestock farm in this area, but what we'll need to do is we'll need to make sure that we can actually get workers out over here. So the alternative is, workers won't be able to come in from there to here unless we get another station on this side. But really we will alternatively need to do it up here somewhere. And maybe that's okay. Maybe this is a good spot to extend our farming area. We'll need some rail connections, which we have available right over here. Now, what is the idea? Livestock Farms gives us 5 tons. One of these takes 250 tons. So, wow, per day, right? That's enormous amounts of livestock that we need to be able to produce that. So let's just go ahead and get ourselves going with, like, is it 10 of them? Gives me 50. That's just insane. So they need crops, right? So what we'll need to do is we'll need to get ourselves an appropriate facility. And I do wonder whether it is appropriate to have it this nearby. I do really wonder. Alternatively, what we can do is we can just pop it on the other side here. But of course, the rail connection to the other side is challenging. That we have got no rail connection in this area. We do, in fact, have some crops being produced over here. But I'm kind of tempted to extend it with another set of farms, crop farms over here, because this thing can certainly take on more. We've got the infrastructure in place. What we should just basically do is build more farms in this area. So maybe that's what we're going to do. We're going to extend the farms in that general vicinity. This should... Yeah, we will need to loop this thing around that way. But anyway, so let's have a look. So livestock farms. This is the livestock farm, right? Can we... Hang on. I just wanted to have a quick look. One of the things that I thought could be useful is if we run this road down there. Can I run a road down here? Okay, let's see. Can I do... I'm just trying something out here. So if I do this... Wow, that's difficult. This guy is struggling big time to get this all done. Oh, there we go. Now, if I do that, can we in fact run this through here? Too steep of an incline. There. It'll work. I like it. I like it. It means we're actually using our bridge infrastructure. And then what we'll do is we'll just kind of tie it off that way. So now the intent would be that we need to tie this one in somewhere. So probably, I mean, we're not going to get up here. Let's switch that on and see what's going on. Yeah, we'll have to run this out all the way over here. And then we'll tie it in. Something like that. So now we have a bridge connection to the other side. This is exactly the kind of thing that you would, I think, see where we're trying to save on infrastructure by building some stuff like this. So that's a good approach. So that's a way we're going to be able to get to a livestock farm over here. So now let's start thinking about our livestock facilities. So we will need to bring in. Let's have a look at our modded storage facilities. I thought I saw some good warehousing. So these warehouses, they are rail connected, right? Yeah, not that I'm too keen on the rail connection component of it, but that's 1,000 tons of crops. It doesn't actually take any livestock or any meat though. And this is why I don't want them to have their own kind of general connections. But what I'm after is a large storehouse where we can have multiple connections such as this. So this large storehouse, does that have rail? It doesn't have rail, and that's okay. That, I think, is okay. So what we can do is we can do a train station and we can kind of connect these guys up. What else do we have here in terms of warehouses? I'm looking for the pretty big stuff though. But I do want them to look appropriate. These are huge, but this is too big. I'm not building one of these things. These things are absolutely massive. These warehouses are better. Ooh, what is that? 624 tons of crops. You know what? We need a fair bit of crops. So, we actually, there was these guys. 8,000, 4,000 tons of crops with a rail connection and multiple. So this might be a good one for us to have a few livestock farms. And what's the other one? The extent, that's 8,000 tons of crops. Is that that's a bigger one? I'm actually not too... Okay, I'm actually not opposed to this. So if we say... Yeah, if we say we'll place it out over here somewhere. Workers is going to be a big challenge over here. So if we do something like that, the grain elevator, 4,000... How much? Hang on, sorry. I'm just making sure that we get our numbers fairly accurate. So how much does this take? 10 tons. Yeah, so presumably we may not need all of that. Rail connections for crops. Rail connections for crops. Let's go back in here. So maybe 4,000 is more appropriate. Let's get a 4,000 one. So if we say do something like that, so now we've got those alignments in there. Now what we will need to do is we will need to get those crops moved to livestock farms, and those livestock farms will need to move the livestock somewhere else. Right, so the one thing that we will need to do is get ourselves a livestock hall. Yeah, I'm still not convinced this is the right way of doing it. Because what we'll need to do is we'll need to tie these guys back in. Anyway, that's the end of it. I'm gonna get rid of the grain elevator. That's the end of winter. What did our population do? Yeah, pretty stable. Not super stable, but pretty stable. We hardly lost anybody. Electricity problems. That's interesting. Why? This is the thing. Each time we have stuff like this happening, I do wonder why that is happening. Can I have a quick look at electricity just for the time being? All of this seems to be fine. So it might have just been a little glitch. And that's the thing. It's a little glitch and then... You have no idea why that's in fact the case. So where was I working? Over here. I was working over here. So what I'm looking for is a facility. Okay, so I just want something with a lot of access points. So that might be the most appropriate piece. There's just not a lot of storage capacity. But so if we do something like that, no, you know what? We'll just need to do one big one, drop off this guy's here, and actually have that unloaded. So I'm going to go back to this whole setup here. Okay, so with that, from that setup over there, we need to be able to load some stuff over here. So I'm going to go over here. We're going to grab this guy, this road facility. I'm going to tie that one in right over there. So these guys will be able to come and pick up crops over here. We'll see about that. And then, oh crap, what was this? Open storage in Padonan. Oh my goodness, no. How on earth did you have these issues? Let's just build that again. I wonder if we've lost the... I think there was a glitch. Yeah, so we didn't even lose the stuff. I think that's a glitch, of course. And what's going on? How on earth does this work? And this has probably been a big challenge for us. I just want to have a quick look at... This might be part of the reason why that burnt down. I don't know. There's a fire station right over here. With it. So I've no idea why that was the issue. Anyway, let's just get our stuff going on over here. So really, you should never have gone in here. That's just one of those things that's a little unfortunate. Really, that shouldn't have been an issue. How many trains have been messed about with this? I don't know. Okay. Building's on fire. Okay, now that's okay. So we've got that going. Now, what we'll need to do... Gonna run the rail over here. So now let's go and get ourselves into some livestock farms. Actually, before we do that, let's start off with this one. And this one needs to be able to load up onto the... You know what? This is going to yet again be another... Okay. I don't think that needs to happen. We won't be loading, unloading there. But what we could do is we could, in fact, go modded cargo station. And we'll get ourselves one of these guys. If we do... Yeah, if we do something like this, it should be appropriate. Just move it out far enough so we can actually do something with the rails. Now, that's going to be okay. I don't think we're going to need anything more than that. Now, let's quickly go back to our livestock facility. And this one, we could, in fact, do something like this. Quite comfortable with that. What we'll do is we'll get another loading, unloading station. Cargo loading station. We'll place that. Place that in here somewhere. Oh, the one thing that I do think we need to bear in mind is that we will also need to get workers out over here. So, okay, that's fine. Now, from there, now we can kind of do a lot of the livestock farms. They are pretty big, actually. Okay, so now we've got a road connection started. So let's run the road in here. Like that. Like so. We'll see about tying. Ooh, the one thing that I'm a little worried about is if we're gonna go get too close to these guys. Something like that, I think, is almost more appropriate because we'll need a little bit of queuing space in there. Similarly, we're going to have a bit of queuing space in here, which is going to be awesome. That's going to be just fine. What we'll do is we'll actually get this guy to come off over here. And we'll do that. Okay, now, with that in mind, now we need to figure out what we're going to do with our... Because we'll also need to make sure that we've got a space to actually deliver workers out over here. But now... Let's see. So we're never going to get these guys all connected up. So we'll have to use them wisely, basically. So let's see about squeezing them in as tight as possible. Okay, so what's going to need to happen is we're going to need to drop off workers over here. So what we could do is we could run them all along the edge on this side. And then we'll have workers on the other side of it. Certainly we'll do that. Won't be able to squeeze another in here. We'll grab one in there. We'll do one. Do a little bit of this. Okay, so now we've got a few of them. We could squeeze another one in here. That's just quite interesting, actually. If we bring in a train, now let's quickly go back and get a modded passenger platform. Passenger platform station, and we'll go with something like this, right? So we'll get a passenger train to come in on this side. We want to make sure that we have our distances to be traveled is pretty easy, so we'll need to make room for a bit of something over there. So this will work quite nicely, I think. If we squeeze that guy over there, we should be able to get everybody into walking distance from there. Now let's try the next section of these guys, livestock farms. That's good. I actually like this. This is looking really good. So we'll get up to about there. And then what we'll do is we'll do 2 more over here. So in terms of livestock, then we'll have to move the livestock somewhere to get slaughtered. And that's okay. We can quite easily do that. So if we do this section here, I think that's going to be fine. So there we go. So that's a ton of livestock farms right here. We could even squeeze in another 1 or 2 of them right on the edge over here, something like that. And now we'll have our rail connections running straight through here. So if we grow rail connections, and this will have to be, we'll have to have numerous distribution offices to kind of move these things around. So now the intent is that we'll see about doing a little something like this. Yeah, let's make sure to snap it in. And if we run that rail connection out there, that's pretty good. What we'll do is we'll run a bit of a straight section up to about here somewhere. About there, and then what I'll like to do is actually run that so coming in, going out. Okay, let's leave it up here for the time being. We don't need that to be multi-directional. So what we'll do is let's trim this back a little bit. We'll trim the one of them back, and we'll see about tying. Just need to sort out what our direction of travel is going to be. Similarly, we'll now, the problem is over here, we don't actually have a bypass. We could do a bypass. We don't need, we'll probably need to run a bypass over here. Let's try that. Trim these back a little. Do this. Bring this one back completely. Don't think we need that to be all that far away, actually. So if we do something like this. So there we go, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and tie this one in over there, something like that. That's okay. That means we're running a bypass. Though we'll have to see how that works with everything else going on over here. A bypass there. Okay, now I'm going to trim this back, and we're probably about the end of the episode. We'll have a look at what progress we've made, and then we'll have to take it out from there. We'll tie that in. The bypass is done. We don't need more than this, so you can go ahead and tie yourself in there, and probably go and tie yourself in there. That's fine. We'll run you through there. What we'll do is we'll get you to come off over this way. Do that, but we'll also then tie off over here. We'll tie this one in. Nice. And from here, yeah, we'll have to have a crossover. That's okay. So get out of there. Fairly straight. Like so. You're going to go ahead and actually we're going to start it off, and then you're going to tie in, so we can. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to do this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get a connection off of here. We're going to do something fairly straight like this, and we're going to tie you in here, and like so, and then we're going to do our straight little section in here again. Tie you back in and tie you back in over there. Okay, now we just need to check if that's so if I think we're planning it on a one-way loop this way around, so we don't necessarily need to tie that guy in. Trim that back a little bit, and now what we'll need to do is this one will be on the way out. So if we do this, the concern is just that if we can't now use the other side unless we go about doing a little something like that. So we'll have to do bit of a standard setup over here. So there we go. That's kind of our connection over here. That gives us a fair bit going on here. So that will be our new meat production facility over here. We may even be able to squeeze in a little bit extra, but I think for the time being that's okay. A little one-way loop around there, get through there. There we go. Let's quickly have a look at the progress, and that'll be the end of this episode. Progress over here, nothing spectacular, almost nothing, to be honest. We've not made any progress, and I'm assuming that's still because we have zero workers over here. This guy is working because we in fact didn't have, because we've got the helicopters to do it, so I'll have to get the helicopters to come and do a bit of this, at least until these are built and we can get more workers in here. I don't know if this place is gonna be self-sufficient in any way, shape or form. So make sure to come and drop off some fuel over here, so we have fuel available at this facility. Yeah, this is problematic, so let's quickly pop in here, and I'm quickly going to go ahead and assign some construction. So if we go with number 1, you go over there and over there and over there and over there. Number 2, you're gonna go over here and over there and over there, and number 3, you're gonna go with these other facilities. Over here, that going to be okay? Let's just squeeze in one or two more of these things. So we'll get a few more things built over here. Hopefully that will get the helicopters out over here. What the helicopters doing over here? Oh, they're making good progress on these bridges, I must say. They help things out a fair bit. So that construction is actually doing a good job over here. With them moving in over here, that'll be, I think, quite helpful. But yeah, workers is our challenge at the moment. All of these are full, but they're not necessarily giving us anything we need just yet. So let's get the helicopters over here. Once we move more people in, I think things will start to look up for us a little bit over here. Anything else of significance? I wanted to expand this. So I think one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to expand by placing in more farms over here. There's so much space where we can just go ahead and expand it, build more of these little facilities, build more of this, and then have everybody drop their stuff up over here. I think that will be a very good use of this general area. I think we can fill up a substantial component of this with more farmland, and that will hopefully provide us with a fair bit more crops. What will be interesting, however, is that we will be challenged in terms of getting any kind of crops onto rail, which is something that we'll have to bear in mind. But I'm liking our new little setup over here. This facility over here should be able to produce a fair bit more livestock. At least there's no meat facility or slaughterhouse facility over here. So we'll have to keep an eye on what we're going to do with where that's going to go end up with. Are we going to run that maybe potentially through here somewhere, and we have a slaughter facility in this general area over here? Maybe this will be a bit of a industrial component. I mean, this entire section here is just screaming out to be industrial, and then this can be massive city, and we'll see about getting another airport somewhere over here, and we'll have to link this rail back over that way. Yeah, and then the city of Ultimagrad will be absolutely huge. I'm just hoping we can properly sustain everything that needs to happen. Guys, but thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Leave your comments down below as always. This map is filling up nicely, and it is starting, again, looking very good, very good. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.